Hello, here we are again. Here's a quick little tool you can use. In my last video, I talked about how I prefer Affinity over something like, say, Paint.net. But Paint.net does have some nice little things in it. And here's one. Here I have the picture of my cat. And if you go to the effects, it's got ink sketch, oil painting, paint, pencil sketch. These are like little, I don't know, macro type things. I don't have an equivalent in Affinity. If you do, let me know where they are. But so if you do something like, say, an oil painting, so you can make them look a little bit like an oil painting, you know, splotchy like that. Or you can do ink sketch, you know, and you can play with the ink outline, the coloring, you know, make it, it's really some cool effects like that if you want to use them for something. And then another one would be pencil sketch. Right, so pencil sketch, pencil tip size, range. So kind of like, here it just looks like a black and white picture, but if you kind of play with it a little bit, it kind of can look more like a sketch, you know. So it's some cool effects, right? So I saved a quick oil painting one, and now if I bring it into, this is a t-shirt template. So you can so here it is. So now what's really cool, check this out. So you like say select him. So I'm going to select him. This could be tricky. So you have them there. If you want to subtract some of this, that's part of the thing behind him. You don't really want that. Not sure where he ends. I think he ends there. Maybe add in this little bit of his ear that we missed. You go to refine. Oops. And then say smooth it just a tiny bit. Apply. Copy it. Control C. Now I've got the oil painted cat on my t-shirt template, right? And now say I want to get my crescent tool to get the shape. Say you want an arc for text. You pull that in here real quick. You can play with it. Straighten it out a bit. I'm just doing a quick and dirty here. Then in this program, you do convert the text path, right? And then you move the green and the red around. And then you play with your font size and your font. You can play with it. So the font size will vary according to fonts. Sometimes they're bigger or smaller depending on the font. So there. So now say I'm going to do that, or maybe I'm going to make it maybe I want it a little bigger, 110, right? Do that. And then I'm going to pull it like that. Maybe center it more. And maybe change the color. Maybe do an outline. You can do whatever you want here. Make the outline white just in case I'm going to do this on a black shirt or something. You got to be careful because if you're going to do, say I was going to do black text, right? So I was going to do black text. If I did it on a black shirt, I wouldn't see it if it wasn't outlined in white. And likewise, the cat himself, you may also want to outline him in white, just a smidgen in case. So you can see the, so you do that. So the way you can mock up the shirt is for different colors is you add a pixel layer, right? And then with the pixel layer right now, I can go back to here and get my flood tool and go for black color shirt. Boom. So now I'm going to, that doesn't look too good, right? So go back to him. Maybe you don't even need it. Do we need it? You don't really need it. Now that's a little bit of a sloppy cutout, right? So say I go back here and I do refine. I don't know how this is going to work. Say I'm going to smooth it out a little more. So I'm going to feather it a bit. You don't want to lose things. Say I'm going to copy him. So now I'm going to get rid of that one, throw in this one, see if it's any better. It may or may not be better. Sometimes you have to play with these things, you know. It's not always an exact science. So there he is. Do I want to outline him? I don't think it's going to look right. Sometimes it does. It all depends on the cutout. It's a little better. It's not as jagged. You can, like, maybe you want to go for some artsy effect. Maybe you want to change the outline. Now, again, you have to be careful. If on a purple shirt, you wouldn't see that outline. So say you wanted to go white. White, you wouldn't matter really, because if it's a white shirt, you don't really need to see the outline. The outline's really there for to provide contrast if you're on a dark shirt. Most people order black. So you can do that, or not. Or you can just leave it like that. You know, you're going to see a little bit of that outline. You could clean it up too. It's all up to you. I'm only doing a quick video here. You can export this to a PNG file, and you can take a tool and kind of blur this out a bit, or maybe erase out some of these white lines. There's a lot you can do here. Again, that's not my object here is not to show every possibility. You use your own creativity and things. So then you can pull in the PNG file after you've smoothed out the edges even some more with some manual tools like, you know, like these, like the eraser, or maybe you got a blur tool, stuff like that, blur the edges, or you just leave it. I'm just providing, you know, some commentary here. Or you could do the outline thing. Maybe the outline doesn't really, it looks a little jagged when you just do a little bit. I kind of go for the thicker outline if I'm going to do it, or not at all, right? Not at all. Bring them up a little bit, maybe a tiny bit larger. And now what you also have to make sure is you uncheck the layer before you save it, okay? And then when you render this to a PNG file, you make sure you're 300 DPI. You can upload this to Amazon, Spreadshirt, Cafe, Press, any one of these, you know, Redbubble, you know, any one of these POD, print on demand sites, and you can pop this on a T-shirt or whatever other garment, and go to town. There you go. Right? You can also play with other colors. Say I want to do another, you could change that pixel layer color, or you can go back here and say I want to see what it looks like on a purple shirt, right? If it looks like on a purple shirt, or say I want to play around with another pixel layer and say I want to see what it looks like on a green shirt, right? That's what it'll look like on a green shirt. You know, you can play around, visualize what it's going to look like before you actually upload it. But make sure these are unchecked before you do your final render, because you want it to be transparent for the POD, for the print-on-demand site. And there you go. This little spelling thing, this red thing, won't be there in the final product. This is just a inline spell checker tool. It knows that I spelled cat wrong. In this case, that's on purpose. But when you render this to a PNG file or whatever, it won't have that line. Don't worry about that. So there you go. I put my cat in a slightly oil painting filter with some words on a shirt for a shirt design for a print on demand. It actually looks better with the other colors. Usually these things look better in black. I find that the black, you might have to change this around a little bit, but this can sell. I mean, people do buy things like this, and Yeah, I might even. It's not that bad. Like I said, you could go in and you can take this guy and you can edit and paste new from clipboard, right? So here you can save this and you can export this as it is to like a PNG file. Once you flatten it and export it to an image file, then you can open that up and play with these edges. You can't do them in a regular project file. And then you can use that in here instead of pulling it in through copy paste. Well, you would paste it in, but you'd actually pull it from the image file that you went and maybe cleaned up the edges a bit. So there's a lot you can do here. There's a lot you can do here, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great little side gig if that's something you want to do. But I'm just showing things you can do. You can put this on a poster, upload it to Staples or, Walgreens or whatever for, posters, cards, artwork, and anything you want to do. You can upload these. Once you render it to a PNG file or something, you can upload it anywhere and use it. The only thing you just have to worry about the scale. Make sure you do to the size of whatever print or whatever product you're putting it on. This dimension is for an Amazon or POD print on demand T-shirt size, but you can scale them up to anything within reason. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe.